So our next speaker, Otim, is an East Africa Fellow. Woo! Yeah, he's pretty cool, so you'll see in a second. So I get to do some of the facilitation of the Good Society readings, and often these are in our first seminars. And it's a really amazing experience to get to actually go through that experience when a group of 20 people who has never been together before spends this intensive time and actually forms as a group. And it's a really powerful thing to get to be a part of that, and you get a little bit swept up in it, actually. And so I remember meeting Otim during that first seminar. I guess it was 2013, 2014. And I remember noticing him and thinking, what a young guy, with this amazing smile, as you'll see, and this twinkle in his eyes. But he just left this impression on me as this really old soul and as someone with a fierce determination. And I just remember thinking, this is someone to keep an eye on because he's not going to give up. And he will tell you his story of courage, of the choice that he made. The fellowship actually was a powerful turning point for him. And he's really gone on to have a really bold vision for making real change. So I'll let him tell his own story. Otim.
It is 2014. I am at the prime of my career. I work with the education nonprofit, Educate. We are developing entrepreneurs within the education system in Uganda. So I'm accepted into the Acumen Fellowship. I am thrilled. It is the very first time that I am accepted into a fellowship program. So I cannot help but dance to some of my best moves. I feel really excited, but deep within me, I am anxious. What will be of my life 1 year after the fellowship? I ponder. At Educate, I taught entrepreneurship to secondary school youth. I did this in 4 schools every week for 4 years. I love entrepreneurship. I want to be an entrepreneur someday, I tell myself. But the thought of becoming an entrepreneur would mean that I make a decision that I dread the most, to walk away from the job that I love. March 20th, 2014, I arrived for my very first seminar, the Good Society readings. We all love the Good Society readings, don't we, Jackie? I am introduced to new people and new perspectives, a new kind of leadership that transcends the self. I listen to courageous journeys and bold decisions. I meet some of the most brilliant people you'll ever meet. Lucy Mukuria, and Sarah Matindi, and Karen Wakoli, and Calvin's, Eda Sachin, and Bob Kolimo's best friend, Mr. Ken Olo. I am really challenged. I want to be like these people. I want to be a leader. I want to be an entrepreneur, I tell myself. There must surely be something on the other side, something greater than career can offer. There must be a way for me to impact people and impact lives in the most profound way. I have read about some of Africa's best entrepreneurs, Strive Masiyiwa and Dangote, name them. I admire them, but I desire more. So the Acumen Fellows program was really a turning point in my life. It was really a turning point in my life. The Adaptive Leadership Seminar, I start to question my purpose. What do I really want to do with my life? I want to be an entrepreneur, I tell myself. I want to impact the world, but I love my job. Why am I even tolerating this ridiculous thought? I cannot leave my job. I have a great team, a great career, I have a comfortable wage. It is important for my family that I have a stable income. I cannot leave my job, I assure myself. And then these conflicting voices within me continue, and I can hear them clearly. A part of me that wants change, and the other part that resists change. And then I look back to where it all started. A remote village 300 kilometers from the capital, Kampala, and my mother, a smallholder farmer, a very hardworking lady. Culture, my culture, demands that women, like my mother, own no property. So the only real asset my mother has to her name is the income she earns from the farm and an account at a savings and credit cooperative in my district. SACCOs, as they are popularly called in this part of the world, are financial entities in rural communities that are formed or created by the community themselves and owned by the community. SACCOs are playing a critical role in providing financial services, affordable and tailored financial services to the world's and Africa's most poor. There are over 6,000 of such institutions in Uganda alone, serving over 18 million people. Uganda has a 34 million population, so that's about 58% of the entire population that actually access these services from SACCOs. Banks are urban-based. People like my mother have no access. My mother loves her SACCO. She would walk 40 kilometers every month to deposit money at her SACCO. For my mother, savings is not really about the money. It's about dignity. And so when a very unfortunate event occurred involving a fraudulent officer at my mother's SACCO that saw her lose all her life savings, I knew I had to do something. This was the one thing for which I would give up everything. It is in discovering this one thing that I found my purpose. It was in finding my purpose that I found courage. It was in finding courage that I was able to make a difficult and life-changing decision. In 2014, June, 6 months into my Acumen Fellowship, with the support of my cohort, I made a very difficult decision to walk away from the job that I loved very much to build a solution for my mother, to protect her dignity. This was the birth of my startup, Ensibuuko. We are providing modern banking infrastructure to rural banks and SACCOs in Uganda. We have developed a robust management system for these institutions. We're partnering with mobile network operators in Uganda to provide two critical services. One is the internet infrastructure required for these institutions to run a cloud software, but also working with them to make sure that they are able to access this even in the most remote areas at a fraction of a fee. On the back end of our software, we have plugged in mobile money, so my mother doesn't have to walk 40 kilometers to her SACCO anymore. She can access all the services she would otherwise access at her SACCO on her mobile phone. My mother has a basic mobile phone. She doesn't need internet to do that. We're currently reaching 70 institutions in Uganda alone, serving over 240,000 people. We are grossing about $15,000 on a monthly, and have raised $500,000 investment from a Canadian angel investor to strengthen our capacity and infrastructure. the ultimate test for our product was, would my mother use it? I am proud to say today that my mother is a proud member and board member of her circle. And she and 3,000 other people that are part of her circle are enjoying the convenience, affordability, and security that our platform is providing. In this room, there is someone that is in the place that I was 2 years back, at the margin, with a desire to pursue something you really love, but without the courage to do that. If there is one significant lesson I've learned in this journey, it is that courage is born out of purpose. If you discover your purpose, the one thing that you'd give up everything for, then you have found your purpose. And that it is from the courageous pursuit of a purposeful life that great entrepreneurs and leaders are born. And as I conclude, I would like to say that Acumen, the experience and the people, has been the single most important thing that ever happened to me in my entire career life. And I will stay indebted to the values and support that the Acumen community has invested in me, and that the price that I will pay will be the millions of other lives of unbanked people that will help transform. We have just this week, as I was here, my co-founder sent me an email and said we have signed our first franchise in Zambia, which means that that we will be able to transfer the same value that we are doing in Uganda to the people in Zambia. And next week, after this workshop, I am also traveling to Ghana to speak with a Ghanaian partner about a similar arrangement. We believe that technology opens boundaries. It opens ways for people's lives to be transformed. And we want to contribute to that process. And thank you for being part of that journey with us. Thank you.